What would you do to bring your beloved back to life? I know, I don't even have the strength for that. It's time not just to replay, but to relive the entire story and universe of Shadow of the Colossus. Vander is a skilled warrior, capable of doing the impossible to resurrect his beloved Mono. For that, he seeks out Dorman, an entity said to have the power to do such a thing. But he had a pretty simple little task to do first, so if it's not too much trouble, you might have to face about 16 gigantic colossi, alright? That was necessary to gain enough power, and this is where our journey begins. But before anything else, go ahead and leave a like and subscribe, because that really helps the video reach more people. Follow me on Instagram to get the news before everyone else. And now, let's get to the video.
That place arose from the resonance of intersecting points. They are memories replaced by everything and by nothing, and engraved in stone. Blood, young sprouts, sky, and the one with the ability to control beings created from light. In this world, it is said that if someone wishes, it is possible to bring back the souls of the dead. But invading that land is strictly forbidden. Aumezuku Ikkyo.
Huh? Do you possess the ancestral sword? So you are mortal.
Are you Dorman? I heard that at the world's edge, there's a being who controls the souls of the dead.
You are correct. We are the one known as Dorman.
She was sacrificed because she had a cursed fate. Please, I need you to bring her soul back.
That maiden's soul, souls once lost cannot be recovered. Isn't that the law of mortals? With this sword, however, it might not be impossible.
Really?
That's right, of course. If you can accomplish that.
That we ask of you. What do I need to do?
Behold the idols that stand along the wall. You must destroy them all. But these idols cannot be destroyed by the mere hands of a mortal.
Then what should I do?
In this land there are Colossi that are the incarnations of these idols. If you defeat these Colossi, the idols will fall. But be warned, the price you pay may be very high.
It doesn't matter.
Very well. Raise your sword to the light and go to the place where the sword's light converges. There you will find the Colossi that you must defeat. Now go on your way.
Finally, Vander's journey begins. I mean Wander, although Vander sounds much better, so let's stick with Vander. The mission has been set, and now we have to find 16 Colossi scattered throughout this forbidden land. Our faithful companion is the little horse Pocoto, named Agro. To find the Colossi, all I have to do is point my sword where the sunlight hits, and then focus on the spot where the beams meet, revealing the direction we need to go. If you try to use the sword in a dark place or without any light, unfortunately it won't work. The game is fun, it's open world, so all regions are free to be explored at any time. But the Colossi will only be revealed one at a time in the original order of the game, so don't try to skip a boss or anything like that. The world in general is pretty empty, but that doesn't make it ugly. On the contrary, it has a unique beauty and will impress you many times while you're searching for the Colossi. Another game mechanic is that you'll need to do parkour in various situations to reach the bosses, or in this case, to climb the Colossi. That's right, you'll understand what I mean soon. Your little horse Pocoto won't always be with you in battle, but sometimes she'll be absolutely essential. As for Vanderlei's stats, you have a health bar, a stamina bar, and icons for the equipped weapons. You can switch between bare hands, a sword, or a bow and arrow. And without further ado, we've reached our first Colossus. Consideration. Let's go, our first big titan. Alright, I already whistled and called the guy. It was an accident, just chill there. I'm going to climb up his leg here. Look, it's a little hairy. Whoa, easy. Now's the time, man. No, no, no. Oh my god, I can hurt him here. Look, no, wait. Oh crap. Hey, You have to press it twice. Okay, okay, okay. My bad, my bad, my bad, my bad. Now it's going to work. Here you go. The first one's done. Run fast, run fast. I'm out of energy and need to catch my breath. Let's see what he'll do next. Why am I whistling? There aren't any horses here. Whoa, hold on, little horse. Let's go.
Caio.
We killed him, guys. No, I'm just kidding. But now we can get on it. Did the rascal get up already? Naughty, but I get that's the idea. Huh? Whoa, easy, yeah, whoa. Whoa! Oh, he already fell. Went up a little more. Look, let's go for the butt now, huh? Let's go for the butt. No one asked you to have such a hairy butt, brother. I need to get up here quickly to recover. Let's go slow. He doesn't even feel it here. No, ouch. You can grab onto the fur here, see? He's making some little jumps here. Look, you have to get all the way to his head, man. Look, here you can stand up a little if you think it's better. Recover. Ouch. Just be careful, because he's gonna move his head like crazy, okay? Take that. First hit on the head. It always has to be where that mark is on his head. Oh. Take that. Come on now. No. Scoundrel. My god. Okay. Done. One more.
Ow, my head, you jerk.
Run! Run, guys! That little soul is going to get us. Now that little soul is going to get us. I died. At the end of every battle, those shadows of the Colossi will enter your body and we will awaken again at Dorman's altar.
My next enemy is in the cave by the sea. It moves slowly. Gather your courage to defeat it.
And even before starting the quest, Dorman mentions that this structure is like a small altar, and that if you offer a prayer, your wounds are completely healed. In practice, they work as checkpoints. That is, you can update your save to respawn there if you die. Now, let's go after the next colossal titan. And this time, he points in the opposite direction. For the first time, you'll see different paths, like this bridge connecting these two distant islands. Yeah, guys, let's go down this thing, because there's clearly something there, and while exploring the arena, a suspicious door catches my attention, but when I get close...
Whoa, run little horse, let's run, this is gonna end badly. I remember this song, man, it's really good.
This is Quadratos, a Colossus that looks like a bull and will try to stomp on you. If you remember Dorman's words, he already gave you some hints. First, he's slow. And second, have courage, because that's the only way to defeat him. Your mission here is to be brave enough to get his attention with arrows and wait for him to attack. But since he's slow, you'll have plenty of time to shoot an arrow at his foot. Yeah, nobody likes getting shot in the foot with an arrow, right? On my first try, I knocked him down by luck while he was just walking around, relaxed. Don't do that, it's much harder otherwise. It's easier if you get his attention, wait for him to stand, then attack. When he's down, climb up and look for the marked symbol. Remember that this symbol only appears when the sword is equipped. After all, it's a magic sword. The first mark will be on his head. And yes, I said first because this guy here will have more than one weak spot. Once the symbol disappears, you'll have to go to his tail. Wow, look at that colossal tail. Stop messing around, you shadows. Man, I'm talking about the boss's butt. I mean, man, you get it. Just keep hitting here with your sword until the big guy goes down. There's no point in running, since the Colossus's shadow will catch you.
Help me! Aggro! Aggro! Aggro, you useless horse, you got here too late, aggro.
And once again, we return to the altar. There, more shadows appear, gathering around me, and another idol is destroyed.
My next enemy is a giant dumb pumpkin that rises to the skies. The fury of the sleeping giant shatters the earth.
And so, my friends, we set out for yet another colossal hunt, along with my little horse Pokoto, exploring more and more of these forbidden lands. Once again, the Colossus pointed to the opposite side of the altar. Unlike last time, now we went straight to the left. Looks like we found the so-called giant pumpkin, and since we'll have to cross some water to get to the ramp, our friend Aggro will have to wait. Sorry, buddy, but I'll be right back. You can swim faster by using stamina, but be careful to stop at the right time so you don't lose health for nothing. Up at the top, there really was a giant that was asleep. This is Gaius, one of the tallest Colossi in the game. The rascal carries a giant stone sword and won't waste any time trying to hit you. After all, I woke the guy up, right? Poor thing. A daytime nap is sacred, man, but let's go. To beat this big guy here, you need to wait for him to use his longest attack, and while the sword is on the ground, you climb up on it. However, there's a detail. If you try to climb up directly, you'll notice there's nowhere to grab or move forward. That's why he can't just attack anywhere. There's a platform over there that's sturdy. If he hits it, it'll have the opposite effect and the armor on his arm will break. So you just need to be good bait and dodge at the right moment. With the armor broken, it's time to climb the big monster. Go up its arm, through the hairy part until you reach its head. The first weak spot will be here. Once the symbol disappears, it's time to go to the creature's belly. Climb up the arm again, and reaching that structure on its shoulder, you'll be able to easily run and jump onto its waist. After that, my friend, just finish off the Colossus with your sword. If you've noticed, the music after defeating the Colossi doesn't sound very cheerful. It's as if the game doesn't want you to feel happy or victorious after that. Something about all this doesn't seem right.
The next enemy is on the ground in the vast green fields among rows of graves that guide the way. It is in fact gigantic, but it does not inspire fear.
Does the next one really not inspire fear? Let's go with aggro to find out.
On the way to reach the fourth Colossus, I find my first checkpoint. I was confused at first, but you just need to stand close, line yourself up, and press the circle button. I kept pressing all the other possible buttons, climbed the thing, and found some suspicious black and white lizards. But anyway, moving on, I got to a pretty interesting place, but it was the wrong one. Yeah, I was in another Colossus's arena before I was supposed to be. I had to reset my save to go back to exploring. Then, pretty close by, I easily managed to find the green fields Dorman mentioned. Fortunately, we managed to make our way there with aggro, and to start the fight, there's no point in exploring the underground paths. You need to find the Colossus that was resting in its corner. And this one is Phaedra. Look, I don't know about you, but I actually found him cuter compared to the others. He even has some little braids, man, there's no denying it. But let's go. To be able to climb the braided Colossus, you need to trick him by using these underground paths. Try luring him with the arrow from the side, then slip through the small door to exit on the other side. He'll search where he last saw you, bending down to look. That's when you take the opportunity to climb onto his back. In theory, it's pretty easy, but in practice, the beast isn't always that dumb. It took me a little while to get him to bend down. And when you finally manage it, you'll reach the stone tail. It's a bit tricky to hit, but don't worry, because the beast gives you plenty of time. And check this out, in case you haven't noticed, sometimes instead of that symbol, a light appears that looks more like a scar. That symbol means it's some kind of strategic point, either to weaken the beast or to change its movement. In this case, if you hit here, it'll lower its neck slightly, allowing you to reach the tip of its head. And now, my friend, go ahead and slash away at Puka Sombra. Unlike the last ones we faced, this one has only one main weak spot, so don't worry about looking for more in other places.
Next enemy. I cast a colossal shadow over the misty lake. As it crosses the skies, reaching it won't be an easy task.
Let's go then, family, to the 5th Colossus on our list. Take this moment to leave a like on the video, okay? It costs nothing and helps me a lot. And now, boss, I can go to the place I went to by mistake. This time, something different is going to happen. Hey, damn, now things got crazy. This is Avian, our first flying Colossus. For me, this is a really memorable fight. I remember the first feeling I had when I faced him. I was around 9 years old when I played this game. Back then, a fight like this, a game in this style, was something really innovative. To start the battle, it's pretty simple. Stand on the platform and shoot an arrow at him. After that, he's going to come at you and you just need to wait for the right moment to jump and grab onto his fur. And now, my friend, get ready to experience the epic moment of flying on top of the Colossus. Little by little, you can move toward either of the wings. At the tip of each one, there will be a weak spot. Keep attacking until the symbol on both sides disappears. Watch out for the creature's spins and maneuvers, okay? You'll need to really watch your stamina so you don't end up falling from up there. Or you could get lucky like I did. I managed to deal a bit more damage to the other wing, but in the end, I ended up falling. When that happens, just repeat the same strategy as before, and jump onto its foot. After finishing both wings, the last spot is on its tail. Just go there calmly and strike it hard with your sword. Bye. And once again, the shadow hits us. I don't know if you've noticed, but with each Colossus defeated, our stamina increases. This will be important for the next bosses coming up ahead.
It's the next enemy. It lurks over time. It longs for destruction. But it's not foolish.
And without beating around the bush, my friend, I head out with aggro to the next boss. On the way, I find another prayer altar and save my checkpoint. And after passing through some really beautiful sights, I finally arrive at a suspicious looking structure. This is possibly the temple that Dorman mentioned. Well, dang, all that's left is for me to head down there. End of the line. Alright, and without much time to think, the Colossus affectionately nicknamed Barba appears. Yes, that's right, just a reminder that these are names created by the community. At first then, just keep running away, passing by and climbing those walls. Now the guy, really pissed off, is going to break all the barriers, and this is where you take the chance to hide and get his attention. At some point, he'll bend down to look for you. That's when you climb onto Barba. Keep climbing until you reach his head. This is still the first weak spot, so keep attacking until the symbol disappears. The last spot is right on his back, on the left side. Be careful because he moves a lot and your stamina can run out. If necessary, climb up a bit to the shoulder area to recover safely. After that, just go for the win. Thank you for watching.
My next enemy is in a hidden ruin by the lake, where thunder echoes beneath the waters.
I'm not going to lie, but I got scared by Dorman's description for the next boss. Aggro helps us out, right? Because Jubilo is acting strange. To find the next Colossus, it's a bit of a trek. I go through a new checkpoint, creepy places, more checkpoints, I get lost until finally I find the right path and I reach the lake mentioned by the entity. Our buddy Aggro had to stay behind because from that point on it was just water and parkour, so there was no other way, and as soon as we got to the water, nice to meet you, this is Hydrus. If you have even a little bit of thalassophobia, this one might give you quite a chill. Swimming there is tense with a giant electric worm right below. To face him, you have to stay in the water and wait for him to attack. The trickiest part is getting the timing right between dodging the shocks and positioning yourself correctly so that when he lifts the tip of his tail, which is where you need to hold on. But when you manage to do it, you'll get a nice aquatic ride on the Colossus. Wait for him to come out of the water to get closer and closer to the weak spot. Since he has shock attacks, it's necessary to deactivate them. When you get close to each of those little horns, there will be an attack mark for you to hit. Be sure to go at the right time, or you'll be shocked. Also, in one of his moves, he goes all the way to the bottom of the water. And then, my friend, you'll lose your stamina. If your health is low, it's easy to get knocked out. With all the shocks off, only the weak spot on his head remains. And with nothing else to worry about, you can finish the fight calmly, so...
Your next enemy is a tail trapped in a container deep in the forest.
Yeah, guys, I don't know if you're keeping count, but this is already the 8th Colossus. That means we're getting close to halfway through them, and the path to reach it is pretty easy. And I didn't get lost this time. New areas are explored, including some unique structures. As we move forward, we reach what seemed to be a large tower. This Colossus is Kuromori. Yeah, they say she's the only female one, but I don't know if that's just a fan theory. Anyway, let's figure out how we're going to defeat this lizard from the junkyard. The idea here is pretty simple. You're going to go down a few floors, but not all the way to the bottom, because down there, on X1, you won't be able to do anything. What you actually need to do is get her attention from above, so she climbs the wall, but you don't need to be too high up. About 2 floors is more than enough. But be really careful with the poison she spits. That stuff also releases a toxic mist where it explodes. It'll put you to sleep before you even notice. Ouch. Yeah, guys. The first death was taking a while to happen. And this rascal here is going to make me die again. But okay, back to the fight. You're going to get her attention so she climbs the walls. And from down there, you'll hit at least 2 of her legs. Aim for the lighter area marked on her skin. That way, she'll fall to the ground, belly up. That's where her weak spot is. In this case, her 2 weak spots. But they're side by side, so it's pretty easy. When she turns over, just repeat the same process until the fight is over. What? not going to.
My next enemy is the land where trees rarely grow. He sleeps in the dry lake bed. His awakening will be brutal.
This time, we had some new scenes, with the great Vanderlei having a dream. But take it easy, my young friend. We still have 8 Colossi ahead, so let's move on to the next monstrosity. We've reached a very dark and unlit area. Besides that, it seems to be a region of hot springs, with many geysers scattered around. And exploring a bit more, we found the beast hidden in the steam. This jerk without mercy will quickly launch some shock projectiles at you, so stay sharp and run along with the water. This is Bizarrin. He looks like a supercharged turtle. And my recommendation is, don't stand still at all, because he won't even spare your little horse Pocoto. The idea to reach his weak spot is to get the jerk's attention. Lead him onto any geyser. When he's on top of an active one, he'll get pushed to the point of almost losing his balance. That's when you take the chance to shoot some well-aimed arrows at his lower legs. And now, get on aggro and run over there toward the belly. Climb as much as you can before it completely turns around. Up here, the boss only has one weak spot, and that's right here on the head. The rest is all protected by the shell, so there's no way to hit anywhere else. After a few strong sword strikes, the big guy will sleep forever.
Your next enemy is an isolated sand dune. Its tracks are well hidden, making the ground shake. Its gaze is upon you.
More than half is already gone, guys, and I'm getting more and more afraid of what's coming next. Along the way, I find more checkpoints and reach the isolated dunes mentioned by Dorman. This one is Dirge, a giant sandworm. This is one of the fights I like the most, maybe because you need aggro to be able to win. Just be careful not to jump by accident and almost drag your little horse along. Other than that, you need to get its attention while escaping with aggro. Then you equip your bow and get an arrow ready. Once the worm opens its eyes, shoot the arrow to make it dizzy so it crashes into a wall. Then go to its weak spot. When its mouth is open, it's over. Run.
Run. They see me rolling, they hating, patrolling, and trying to catch.
Today, aggro was riding the beast, man. He was going up, surfing on the worm. Too wild. I'll have to climb up slowly, thinking I won't make it in time, man. Alright, let's go again. Let's go again. One more, one more. Yeah, the little worm is gone. Now we're gonna bring the worm in here. Whoa! Hit him 1,000 times.
My next enemy is an altar that overlooks the lake. The Guardian set free. He keeps the flames alive.
Come on, guys, there are only 6 Colossi left, and our beloved will come back to life. At least that's what we hope, right? Along the way, I find a checkpoint, get a little lost, but discover a hidden altar. We go down there, but unfortunately, alone, without our partner, Agrahorse. And as we move forward, I'm getting to the center of that structure. There. That's Colossus, the Fire Guardian. Be careful, he may be the smallest Colossus in the game, but he's super aggressive. Yeah, man, the smaller they are, the angrier they get. And the problem is that he's well protected by his armor, so we'll need to find a way to destroy it. Don't worry, it's pretty easy. First, you're going to climb up on any of those fire totems and get the little bull's attention. As soon as he hits it, a piece of wood will fall down. Grab it, since we'll use it to scare the little bull. Light it on fire to move forward and keep cornering him until he's at the edge of the structure. Yeah, I know. I also felt bad about doing this part, but what can you do, right, man? If it's canon, there's no way to escape. Damn, Vanderlei. With the little guy's back now exposed, just jump in and the weak spot marker will show up. And really quickly, with just 3 well-placed hits, the little bull goes down.
Your next enemy is the paradise that floats above the lake, a silent being that brings another kind of awe.
This riddle from Dorman was really different compared to the others. I can't even imagine what's coming next. By thoroughly exploring the fields, I find other checkpoints, forests, until I finally find the Colossus's trail. Accidentally, I end up swimming in the wrong place and get swept away by the current. But then I do the right thing and head toward the arena. This is Pelagia, the giant turtle charged with electricity. Right away, what you need to do is swim underneath it, right through the center. The idea is to get to its hairy back and start climbing from there. After that, when you reach the head, you'll find directional stones. That's right, no weak point, just stones for you to hit. Each one of them represents its respective direction. The idea here is to steer the turtle toward any of those platforms that look like pillars. When you're at a good distance, just jump. Run to hide right away because he's going to launch those shock blasts almost instantly. And then, my friend, just wait for him to jump onto the structure with his 2 front legs. At that point, he'll let you jump onto the fur on his chest, his weak spot. He's more aggressive than others, so you'll need to repeat this process several times. In fact, there will come a time when the platforms will break, so make the most of each attempt. And finally, at least the weak spot won't change its location. Subscribe, just a little bit left.
And the next enemy is the vast desert lands, a colossal trail that crosses the skies. I'm not alone.
Let's get going and search for the 13th Colossus. And just to mention, did you see that some shamans are coming our way? I wonder what they want. Maybe they came to get me, or maybe they're after Dorman. We'll find out more details about that soon. For now, let's continue our journey. This was probably the Colossus I got lost on the most out of all of them. Seriously, this forest is way too confusing. It's crazy. I ended up finding several checkpoint spots from wandering around the map so much. That's crazy. But anyway, after a lot of struggle, I finally make it to that bastard's arena. To start the fight, just get close to this specific structure. If you're not sure, and you're as lost as I was, just use the sword's light so you don't go wrong. Nice to meet you, ladies and gentlemen. This is Phalanx, probably the longest Colossus in the game, and to make things worse, the big guy can fly. The strategy against him is pretty straightforward. You'll need aggro 100% to win. First, we have to burst the 3 balloon-like spots the boss has on his belly. By hitting them with arrows, he'll come down and start scraping some of his wings on the sand. Now you have to ride aggro as fast as you can to keep up with the guy's speed. By positioning yourself correctly, it's time to jump onto that wing to climb onto the Colossus's back. It's best to wait for him to take flight, as the wing straightens and moving becomes easier. The first attack point is also close by. Be careful because the creature will start doing flips. On top of that, it gets stronger over time, locking all its weak points, and then it even dives into the sand. Be careful to avoid unnecessary damage now, otherwise just repeat the process to finish the fight easily.
My next enemy is the Freed Guardian, an isolated city beyond the canal. He longs for destruction.
And from now on, the bosses will be farther apart than usual, so take it easy when looking for them. Even I took a little while to find the right path again. Actually, I thought it was pretty well hidden, but in the end, little by little, I managed to find its exact location. This one is Cenobia. Think of him as Little Bull Kid's 2.0 Turbo. The trickiest part about facing him is figuring out what you have to do, but luckily, Big Blanc is here to help you out. First, you give the video a like. Yeah, that's not exactly it, but go ahead and do that too. But basically, on this first fallen pillar, you're gonna use it as a step to climb up the nearby structures. The idea is to reach that bigger pillar and keep drawing the attention of Little Bull 2.0 so he knocks down that structure. And with each pillar that falls, new parkour paths open up. That way, you'll keep climbing higher and higher, knocking down all the possible pillars, until one of them destroys the passage to that door where we originally came from. There you'll go up and do the same thing. You'll get his attention so he breaks that whole platform, and then... And now, my friends, the fight is going to switch to easy mode. Just climb onto any fallen pillar and wait for his attack. Since now he's without armor, the little guy will fall back and leave his weak spot even more exposed. By repeating this a few times, we defeat the Little Bull Kids 2.0, and then...
My next enemy is the giant who fell into the valley. He acts as the sentinel of a destroyed city.
Now, my friends, the final moments are approaching. Let's go after the penultimate Colossus on our list. We're coming up on some ruins of what may have been the city Dorman mentioned. But after all, what kind of land is this, huh? Who could have lived here? And why were these lands off limits? Just some of the mysterious questions from Shadow of the Colossus. Just mysterious questions. Whoa, damn. This is Argus, the Sentinel. He looks a lot like the first Colossus we faced, actually, but he's a bit more buffed. Let's get this fight started. The idea is to get to one of these platforms and wait for the big guy to stomp. Yeah, just be careful not to stand right in the path of his attack. When you bait him just right, he'll tilt the platform, making it possible to climb up the sides. Keep climbing until you reach the upper stone arch, which actually looks more like a walkway. The idea is to get the big guy's attention so he'll break it in half. Once you've opened the paths, just use the space to jump onto the Colossus's head. And of course, following the game's pattern, the mark is in the same place as always. However, this Colossus here is going to move around a lot, you know? So be patient when attacking. But alright, you keep attacking, all happy, thinking you're going to win. But right near the end, the mark disappears. In other words, we have to find a new weak spot. While you're up there, make your way down to the arm where he's holding the club. There will be a big scar there, so make sure to stab it with your sword. And now his last weak spot is right in the palm of the hand that was holding the weapon. To get there, just provoke him from the ground so that he attacks in your direction. After dodging, just go for the attack. And right at the end, Dorman gave me a hint about what to do when I finished off the boss. That cut off the classic music that plays after defeating the Colossus. I wanted to share this since I'd never seen this bug before.
Finally,
The last Colossus.
The ritual is almost complete. Your wish is about to be granted. But someone now stands in your way. Hurry up, for time is short.
At this moment, I realize that Dorman knows about the existence of the shamans, and knows that they can stop us from reaching our goal. Yeah, now that we've come this far, we can't stop. Let's go then, let's find the last Colossus on our list, and following the light of the sword, we arrive at that spot that appeared in the shaman's cutscene. They possibly know everything that's happening here. To open this passage, just point the sword's light toward the door. Around here, we're getting closer to one of the most traumatic moments in the game. After saving at the checkpoint, we go up some stairs, and this happens. Man, I still remember the feeling I had the first time I got here. It was a mix of sadness and anger, because come on, not aggro, man, that's just too much, but I guess that's exactly the point. To get to this last Colossus out for blood, no mercy at all for our little Pokoto. And after a good sequence of parkour, we finally arrive in the presence of the last Colossus in the game, the final boss. To get started, first we have to get close to him. The problem is that he's going to go all out, shooting lightning at you. Your only option is to hide behind every wall and possible cover, also using the underground passages to move forward. And I'm not going to lie, man, it's actually pretty annoying to get through. So take it easy, stay calm, and master the art of rolling. Without it, you won't make it. And after a lot of trial and error, we finally got to him. And now let the final climb begin. This boss is divided into a few phases. First I had to go to his back and hit the first scar there. Then he went and brought his left arm closer. After all, it hurt, right? He needed to scratch it a bit. I take advantage of this moment and jump onto his hand. Now he takes me to the front, and from there, I can climb even higher up his arm. Right on the biceps, I found another scar, and I hit it with my sword right away. Next, he brings his right hand closer. Once you jump there, the trickiest part of the fight begins. I actually fell several times during this part. So don't worry if that happens to you too. Your mission here is to wait for him to raise his arm high enough so you can see his left shoulder. There you'll shoot a big arrow from a distance. If you manage to hit it, he'll bring his arm closer to his body, and that's how I finally managed to make my way to his head. And now, my friend, the hardest part is over. Just take it easy and keep hitting him until all his health is gone so the last shadow can finally be absorbed. Lord Amon! King Radio.
Arahong formulas ilikung adolf.
Eu não acredito. No fim das contas, então, era você. Do you have any idea what you've done? You not only stole the sword, but you also crossed through this cursed land. You also used the forbidden spell. To be reduced to such a state. You were just being used. Eradicate the source of evil, Radio King. Look. He is possessed by death. Go now and finish this. It's better to free him from this suffering than to let him exist cursed as he is.
Shall we? You separated our body into 16 fragments for all eternity in order to seal our power. We sleep, we rise again. And he was resurrected. We borrowed the body of this warrior.
Place a seal over the entire sanctuary before it's too late. And at that moment, the game lets you control Dorman now that he has taken possession of Vander's body. There's not much you can do other than scare and counterattack the shamans until they manage to escape. What's that? Prepare my horse. Go away, filthy beast! And at that moment, Vander has a moment of clarity and tries to reach his beloved Mono. But the seal was thrown by Lord Aemon, and we don't have enough strength to fight against what was pulling us toward the lake. The poor profane soul? Now no man will ever invade this place again if he is still alive. If it is even possible to continue existing in these sealed lands. Maybe one day you will atone for what you have done.
Oh crap, and what is that?
And so, my dear friends, we finished this beautiful playthrough of Shadow of the Colossus. Before I explain all this weirdness you just saw, I just want to take a second to thank the channel members. And also invite you to join our clan. There are several benefits like exclusive videos, live streams, early access to videos, emojis, and much more. For less than 5 rays, you also help the channel keep growing every day. So thank you very much to everyone, and let's continue with the video. Alright, a lot of strange things happened at the end, right? I know, however, it's possible to connect some dots that the game itself revealed to us. and also pull some information from the game Ico, which is from the same studio. With that, we can explain this kind of crazy ending. First of all, Lord Aemon knew Mono and Vander. Possibly they, as shamans, predicted that Mono would cause the awakening of the entity Dormin, and they preferred to sacrifice her because, according to Vander's words, she was accused of having a cursed fate. But in reality, it was exactly this decision by the shaman that caused Dormin's awakening. This is just a theory, but it fits very well with the game's plot. Now, moving on to talk about the fate of Dormin, Mono, and Vander, things get a bit more complex. If you pay attention to Dormin's original voice at the beginning, you could hear that there were multiple voices there. One of them was male and the other was female. In this ending, we see that the male part takes over Vander's body, while the female part was in the process of occupying Mono's body. He kept his promise to bring Mono back to life, but he never said how the process would work. He only said that the cost would be high. And if you remember, he himself said that bringing the soul of someone who has already died back to the body would go against the natural laws of mortals. So he kind of warned us, right? And the fact that there was that baby at the end is like a half-dormant, half-human creature being reborn, the part that came from Vander. This theory fits really well if we look at the plot of the game Ico. There's this race of horned humans who are possibly descendants of Vander. And the main villain of the game is a woman who even looks a lot like Mono, and she even has a castle in her kingdom that's very similar to the one that appears at the end. Anyway, I won't say anything else from here on, maybe so I don't spoil anything about Ico. But just with this information, we have a very solid theory about the fate of the characters and the explanation for all the final scenes. To wrap it up even better, we have Lord Aemon's prediction in the final scenes, where he says that Wander should be alive because he believes in the possibility of Wander making up for all his actions. Almost like a prediction that he would do this somehow. But what he didn't know yet is that it would not be done by him, but by his descendants. Anyway guys, before I end the video, I want those of you who watched until now to leave a horse emoji in the comments, in memory of our legendary mayor, Agro, who even rose from the ashes in the final moments. But most importantly, I want you to tell me if you enjoyed this more retro vibe with me bringing back some precious PlayStation 2 gems. If you want more old games, leave some suggestions in the comments so I know you really enjoyed it, and now I'll be signing off. Big hug to everyone, God bless you, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye, Zombra!